How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. How you doing?
Yeah, not bad. Thanks very much for coming on and having a chat. Hopefully it goes all right. Like I say, I just thought of an idea of hopefully getting people that inspire me on Instagram, and I like their photos, and just sort of getting a background of why they started taking photos and getting into photography. But yeah, it's quite a big thing for me is sort of seeing other people's stuff and almost influencing my work in a way. And I just think that like photography sort of community since I've started has been quite surprising. Like they're helpful. Like a lot of them are willing to speak to help you out, answer questions. Have you sort of noticed that, or do you kind of keep yourself to yourself?
No, I think people are so nice. Like it's such a nice community. Like people, like say, they're really supportive. I put a post up the other day on my story about asking like advice on a gimbal, and everyone's like, "Oh, I know this." And people get really excited to share like their own like knowledge of everything. And yeah, I just think because I think with photography, because everyone's so individual in what they do, I just think everyone then comes together in their own like quirks, and I don't know, it's just a really nice community. I think.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think I've sort of been a couple of years now since I started, and it's just I don't know. You kind of when you start out at something like I didn't know anything at all. I suppose you're kind of a bit scared of putting your stuff like your work out there and seeing what people think of it, and it is quite it's quite daunting in a way. So when did you start? Were you like a couple of years ago, or were you recent?
Yeah, I think it's come up to about. I'm trying to think when I got my camera. I did luckily at school. They did photography as like part of like, your GCSE. So I was down south, and
All right.
like it was like with an SLR, so it's like developing film and then going darkroom stuff. So that was really good. It was really fun. I don't think as a kid I enjoyed it and appreciated it as much. I probably should have. But it was only been about nearly 2 years. I think I got my camera now. But yeah, I wouldn't look back. I absolutely love it. I think it's really good. I think it's been a couple of years anyway. Yeah, it's been about a few years.
Yeah. So what camera do you use just now?
Fujifilm X-T3.
No.
So it's mirrorless. I have to say, looking for a camera, oh my god, I could not decide what to go for.
I was similar.
Yeah, and they're expensive as well, right? And then I think it took about a year to decide on what camera to pick. I originally went for a digital SLR, but I've got quite small hands, and I've just found the camera's really bulky. But so then people were saying about mirrorless, and I was like, nah. And then I finally just went for it, and that's why I stuck. Really happy with it. So
it's almost what everyone's going towards now. They just seem to be going mirrorless, and it just seems to. I don't know. I think obviously the image quality is amazing, but it's like you say, it's very lightweight, and you can carry it around going hiking. Lenses aren't too bulky either. Which I suppose you as well, when you've got your wee dog and stuff, you kind of you don't want to be carrying it around something heavy, do you? So.
And especially for like a tripod and stuff as well in your bag, and then your lunch things. I think it's really. I mean, now like doing photography a bit more, I'd like to go back and try like different cameras just to see if like I think probably when I was first looking, it was a bit too much to decide on what to. Now I think I'd like to just try other cameras, be quite good, and go back and see. But for like what I do, it's been really good. It's been really handy, so can't complain.
No, that's good. So when you go out and about with it, do you just set your tripod up and do you film a lot, or is it mostly just like do you set a timer up type, or is it a time lapse, or how do you get your photos?
Yeah, so I think that was a few things I was testing when I first got the camera. So there's a few options you can do. I normally use it's time lapse mostly. That one just works the best for me. So I put my camera up, get my focus point. So I get Eric to sit somewhere for me. I'm like, whatever. Or I'll just put an object like a backpack or something, just so you get the focus point. And then I'll do a few test shots, and then I'll set up the time lapse. And you have to switch it back to manual though, the focus, otherwise, because I've done that before and it readjusts itself. And then you just go and take the pictures. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes I've stood in the wrong place, so it's slightly out of focus, which is really annoying. And then you're like, oh. So there's that option, or you can use the app on your phone as well to control it, which is quite handy. So that's good if you want really precise stuff. That's a bit better. But most of the times I just use time lapse. It's quite good. It's a bit annoying though, because the time lapse intervals are like every second, whereas I wish they were every half a second, because when you're doing certain stuff, I don't know, if you're doing something yoga pose, or I don't know, something where you just want it to be very quick, it doesn't work. So, but apart from that, it's fun. It's good fun. That's why I enjoy it. It's it's experiment and see how it works. So it's quite good.
Did you go out for long? Like, I know obviously you're going out to walk your dog probably, but do you go out for like an hour at a time and just sort of take it all in, or are you going out to get a specific photo?
No, I think 9 times out, sometimes I have like in my head, like something really weird, I'll just think of something that I want to do. I'm like, I really want to do that. So sometimes I will go out specifically, I think recent snow pictures I did, so it's like I specifically wanted certain shots, but normally I just go out and see what happens. I always have my tripod with me and a camera, and then just go out, because sometimes I take it with me. I've been out like before on an 8-mile hike and I've not used it once, and there's other days I'll go like a really short walk, I'm just using it like every second. So I think it just depends. That's what the beauty of it is. I think it's always down to what you feel like and what inspires you, I suppose, when you go out. And that's what I find. I don't force a picture, if that makes sense. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, I'm not feeling it, and then the next second something cool will happen. You're like, oh, that's a cool shot, or something random like that. So just kind of let it happen, see what comes up.
No, that's fair enough, because one thing that I would say about your Instagram that like I really like is it just feels real, if that makes sense. Like, it's just like a lot of the time when I'm looking at stuff, it's, I don't know, you almost think of it, they're really seen that, if you know what I mean. Like, have they actually seen that with their eye, or have they edited it, or what have you? But I get a sense of just it being real, like almost what you're seeing, and that's one thing that I kind of look for in like other people's work, is to see what they've actually seen. So is that something, especially with your editing, like do you edit or like the little bit?
Yeah, no, thanks for saying that though. I really appreciate it. It's a big thing for like my picture. I don't know what it is. I've always just like to, like you say, capture what was there, and not. I don't like to like. I know some people, they specifically use Photoshop because they want to make it into something. That's another piece of art. You mean doing it and changing it. For me, it's like I just like to keep it, like you say, as much as it is that's there as possible. So I use Lightroom, but that would be literally like, I've done some before and after shots on my story, I think once before, but it's literally like tiny adjustment. It might be brightening it a bit, or like dark, I don't, just things like that. I don't like to change it like completely. You'll be like, whoa, that's not the picture you've taken. I just like to keep it, I don't know, that's just my personality. I think I just like to keep it as it is. And especially Eric, you know, you and you're gonna leave him as he is. So,
I know.
I think that's just my way of looking at it. I just like to keep it. I think like the world, nature, sounds really cheesy. Nature's really beautiful as it is. I just like to, I think we're very blessed where we live as well, because it's a really beautiful place, and we don't need to kind of change that, I think. So that's my view on it. But
so I think when you first started your page, obviously Eric is quite a prominent feature. Was that all what you started out to do, or was it just something you thought, oh, people love blogs, why don't I just include Eric?
I think Eric, like, again, it's going to sound really cheesy, but he's a massive part of my life. That I didn't ever really wish I should bring him in, but he's just, he's a really good dog, and we're just, it sounds cheesy, but we're like best pals. So wherever I go, he goes. So every picture I put up, he's always there anyway, just sits and watches, bless him. So I think it just came part of it. I just love taking pictures of him. I think he's my little guy, and I just love the little guy, so I love taking pictures of him. So that was just part of it. But I think initially it was, I don't know if I got my camera to necessarily take pictures of him, but I really, when we were out together, I could see like a nice picture of him. I don't know if he was doing like a nice scenery point, and I was just like, I wish I had a camera to take pictures of him, and then end up getting thousands of pictures of him. So, but he's a good dog, so I love to take pictures of him. He's very photogenic.
I know.
He's very patient as well.
You'd have to be, wouldn't you?
I know. Bless him, he just sits there and waits the whole time. But just a little high five after he does a photo, so he knows he's done well.
That's good. It is nice that. It just makes it. It's like I said before about your page being so sort of real and just. It's like you're including obviously other parts of your life because you do your yoga as well, and obviously including Eric. But do you think like yoga is that like a new thing that you've started, or have you always done that and that's just came into like after photography, or is it more like an earlier thing that you've just always done?
Well, I think it's kind of, well, I used to do dancing like years ago, so that's where I kind of got my stretching side of things from. That when I was a wee lass, but that was like years ago. And then I never officially done yoga. I just kind of adapted it and just saw stuff that I liked, and I was like, let's give that a try. And I suppose before getting my camera as well, like, I mean, this is probably another big thing for me as well with it, is that I never used to take pictures of myself like at all.
Okay.
Like, I wouldn't take selfies, I didn't take pictures. I just didn't have any like confidence. I wouldn't know like well, even now I don't take like selfies with it, like for anything. But since getting my camera, I was like, I'm gonna try it, because if someone else takes my picture, I still hate it. But I think I could feel a bit of upset with the camera. It's like not pressure them. So I thought it's actually really helped, I think, doing my yoga stuff with it, and then taking pictures of myself, like not in a vanity way, but like in a get confidence, kind of being more like aware of yourself, and just it's been quite nice for that. So I think that's where that came from, which I really enjoyed actually, and it's kind of brought a different side of myself out that I didn't realise kind of was there, which is nice. So that was
that's good.
Where that came from.
So, I suppose in a way I'm quite similar to what you're saying. Like, I never hated being in front of the camera. Like, I would never. I think it was maybe like, I don't know, let's just say 100 posts into my Instagram. I hadn't put a photo of me up.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm just going to do it. Like, what does it matter? Like 28 or whatever. Like, just go for it. Like, what does it matter? So I was a bit like you. I just thought, the more you do it, the more confident you become, and it's a bit like me doing this. I just, at the start of the year, like, I know everyone like New Year, whatever, new me and all that nonsense, but like I wanted to just get out of my comfort zone completely and try and speak to people face to face instead. Like, Instagram's great, but you're not getting that face to face contact, and I know the time we live in just now, you're not able to get that anyways. But I just thought, why not try something totally different and just like get in front of the camera and speak to people, because I think a lot of people do hide behind computers now, and it's nice. It is nice to actually meet the people that you're speaking to, type thing.
No, definitely. I think it's really good that you've done it as well, and asking in the first place, which I really appreciate. I'm the same. I'd be like, a bit of a hermit. Like, I don't talk. Even beforehand, I was just like, so nervous.
I'm the same all the time, sweating and everything. It's ridiculous.
But it's like you say, it's good to push your comfort zone, and that was like you say, putting your pictures in the first place and putting them out for the world to see, and just like, I think it's really good to do that and just have a bit of confidence in yourself, just go for it. So that's why I said yes to this, because I was like, no, I'm the same, because I was like, no, I'm going to be more confident.
It is a lot easier when you actually do things, and the more you do them, the more confident you become at them. So that's kind of where I'm at just now. I've got a few other people lined up, which is quite good, and just see how far it goes or how long I enjoy it for or what have you. But it's pretty cool learning about everyone in the photography community. So would you say, from yourself putting up photos and things and your videos, have you seen a negative sort of impact from that, or is it positive?
The only negative was there's a few elements to this. So negative, I think you've probably seen, I get a bit angry when people make rude comments to me. So that's the only negative side I've had. Like, I put on my story, just said, nip that in the bud, because I don't like that. But that's like not photography data, that's like Instagram related. But I think in terms of like the photography side, I think it's really lovely. I think people have been really supportive, and I've met loads of people, I'd say photography-wise, online. Met up with a few people to do photo shoots and stuff, which was really good fun. Again, it's getting to the comfort zone and everything. But I think the only negative I feel is on Instagram itself is just with the platform. That's the only thing I don't like with it, just how it is. And I think that can become wearing. But like, I think as long as you're aware of that, then it doesn't kind of become abrasive to yourself. But that's the only thing I'd say that's like negative. Just it'd be good if those other platforms for photography. I don't really know what there is. I think everything's kind of on Instagram. I don't know, and I don't use YouTube and stuff because I've only just started to do some silly little videos. So there's nothing major. But so that's the only kind of negative I can think of. But apart from it, I think learning wise and just so seeing other people's work. I mean, like yourself, you've got really beautiful pictures and. Just seeing how people take pictures, like, oh, I wish I could do it. You get like photo envy, but in a good way. Like, I like to tell people that. That's the wrong with the other day. I was like, can I just say, I was like, so jealous of your picture. But it's nice to tell people that. Yeah, I think it's good and it spurs you to get more creative. So it's a nice cycle, I think, if you can use it well.
No, you're right. It is good just to see other people's stuff, and I suppose it would probably be a lot easier for you to recreate my photos, but I don't think I could recreate your yoga poses.
I definitely couldn't. You've got a really depth to your pictures. I think it's not like you're saying, they weren't like real, but so yours. I think they're very unique in that it's a nice. I say I can describe nice depth to them. It's really good. Yeah. So, but I think what I absolutely love about photography is like it's that everyone's unique, and I think it's good for people to hold on to that. It can be easy to compare yourself to other people and say, oh, I wish my work looked like that. But I think what's nice is that everyone is different and has got style. And that's what I think is great about photography. Like you can give everyone Eric to take a picture of, but 10 people take 10 different pictures of him, and that's what's cool about it, I think. So it's good to like hold on to that difference. And I think that's the hardest bit, trying to keep grounded in your own style, as it were, or like kind of way. But yeah, that's what I think is nice. It's good about it.
No, you're right. So do you have anyone that influences you, or is there anyone that, I don't know if it's one photographer that you maybe studied or looked up to or has kind of influenced your work, or is it more just kind of day to day out in nature that influences you?
Yeah, I think I really appreciate other people's work. I do. And I look at, oh, that's crazy, but and there's some stuff I'm like, I definitely couldn't take. Someone else's picture, I'm just like, wow, how are they taking that? And it inspires you to do stuff. Like I see some like stuff abroad where I like, let's go away and take pictures abroad and things. But I think my own stuff, I just let each day inspire me what's happening, and I think just a bit of spontaneity to your work, I think, is quite nice. And some random stuff happens, like I've got, I don't know, pictures of a cow I really liked, or like some random stuff of the moon. It's just things you can't like plan but have happened. So that's what I like the just like the random stuff. So I like to keep.
It's good. It's just photographing what's around you, really, and just taking in your surroundings. And it is. I'm a bit like that as well. Like, although I kind of try to stick to some rules and like your leading line or rule of thirds and like all of that, I kind of try to keep to that. But sometimes, like, it doesn't matter. Like, if you see something you like the look of it, doesn't matter if you're like sticking to those sort of rules or what have you. So I agree with that. It's nice just to photograph what is around you.
Because if you stick to the rules and you just have like loads of similar pictures, because I know someone said to me about, I never heard it before. I was like, I don't really know. I know about the thirds rule, but I don't know the other one. But he's like, oh, you shouldn't do like body parts with the horizon going through them. And I was just like, I don't care. I like it. So I was like, it doesn't matter to me.
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't matter, does it? So I think if you like it, that's what's important. You go out and enjoy it, and just stick up anyway.
I know, that's the thing. Like, I've noticed that when I've taken a photograph and I've maybe not been completely happy with it at the time, and then I'll be sort of contemplating whether to put it up. But then if you put that photograph up, there will be people that still like it. Like, that's the thing. There's still people that will comment. Like, people see things totally different, and that is a thing that I've kind of like accepted, even though I don't maybe particularly like the photo. There was a reason why I took it, so
Yeah,
like I might as well put it up and someone will like it.
yeah,
So
definitely.
so that's something that I definitely try to do. Is like there is ones that are just rubbish. Like it's maybe like
Those ones
play
that
or
people
something.
love.
Yeah. So
People
yeah,
don't love the ones that loads of effort into. You're like, darn it, I wasted hours for that. And like,
I know.
loads of left likes. It's just the way it is, I guess.
I
But
know.
no, it's a good attitude to have, though. I think
Yeah,
just put it up anyway. If you like it, it should go up. That's what I think.
exactly. So I've noticed that you've started to put up quite regular content. Is that something that you've always done? Like, I don't know if I've followed you right from the start. I don't think I have, but have you always been like that every day you've posted, or do you take breaks?
I think I've been quite regular. I normally wouldn't post at the weekend just because I like to just have a
Yeah,
like weekend free. But I've had a lot of snow pictures recently, so I was like, I'll get them out the way. That's what it was. But no, I think I have been kind of consistent. I haven't really felt the need to have a few breaks. I think at Christmas I had like a week, just I didn't bother on it and stuff. But
yeah,
apart from that, just feel all right. Just put up something. Just depends if I feel motivated or inspired to put something. So I like to write something with it, and that kind of has to mean something to me. So if I don't feel like I've got something meaningful to me, I'm like, nope, I have to wait. So that's the same thing. So but yeah, so that's probably it. But normally weekends I do. This weekend I haven't, but weekends I give it a bit of a break.
yeah. No, that's
Yeah,
good.
so
So do you? Because I know you put a lot of quotes up and things, and there. Do you like? Is that like a book that you have, or do you just search them to go with your images, or is that something you sort of plan before you take an image?
yeah, I think a lot of my like images, it's weird, like when I can remember how I felt and like exactly what I was doing when I was taking the picture.
Yeah,
That sounds weird. I remember it quite clearly. And I think that's like, for me, like photography's been a really good outlet. Like before, like prior to lockdown, during lockdown, I had a lot going on for me. And I think photography was a really great outlet for that. And then just putting like your heart out kind of there. I was
yeah,
like, I don't really care what people think. I'm just going to say what I want and put it out there. And it's definitely really helped. So I think sometimes I'll see a quote and it means something to me and I'll just save it on my phone. So my phone is like literally just thousands of screenshots. I had to like clear them out recently. But there is stuff that I kind of hold onto them. I'm like, oh, that would go really nice with something. And then I just like, sometimes it just fits well with a picture or something. So that's what I kind of go with it. But I like to, it's got to mean something to me. I think that's,
yeah.
again, very cheesy, but it's just, yeah, I am.
It's each to their own. It's not cheesy at all. It's what you want to do. So
Yeah.
don't feel like it is cheesy because it's not. It's just like whenever I look at your page, like I say, because it is that real, like I don't get cheesy at all. Like I actually read the quotes and I don't think it's cheesy. I think because you do it quite well and you almost make it relevant to your photo and it just works. So now I would just keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. That means a lot. I think it's nice because a few people have messaged and like some things I've said have helped them, and that like means the world. Like if you
Ah, yeah,
can share a bit of care to others and stuff. So yeah, no, thank you.
exactly right. Well, that is one of the main reasons behind me sort of starting this channel is just if I can get one person to pick up a camera or their phone or just go out and experience what's around them, that's all that I really want from this. It's not like I'm not an expert. I'm not someone that's got to be telling you all the settings and things. It's just more to yeah, just hopefully I can get someone off the couch and out the door and experience what's around them. So we'll wait and see. But
Well, definitely. I think it's a really lovely thing to go for. So no, definitely, I think it will work.
that's cool. So do you have like a favourite location that I know you've mentioned that you go like to the forest and things, and is there maybe a future location that you've not been to that you'd like to go and see that you've seen on someone else's Instagram?
It's definitely two places actually. I think I was saying two. be like somewhere with the Northern Lights. So that's like literally my dream to see the Northern Lights. I just every time I see a picture, I'm just like, oh, I just really want to see them. I just think they're stunning. Heights, I think everyone like I've seen some really nice pictures up the Dolomites. I think Dolomites and somewhere with the Northern Lights. Two together would be awesome, but I don't think that'll work. But would be cool. But so I think because sometimes you do see places and you're just like, oh, that does look incredible. So yeah, I think
No, that's good. Two places that, well, two things that I'd probably like to see as well, especially Iceland. I feel like a lot of people have been, so it's kind of maybe, I'm not saying it's got to be quieter because it's not, but I feel like it was maybe 3 or 4 years ago, so I think it's maybe off of people's sort of radar because they've been now. Hopefully, when we can travel, that'll be on top of my list. So it's nice to sort of have, I don't know, places that you want to go and see. But even though we're stuck in this situation, it's still nice to sort of think of the positives and hope that we can go and see those places once again.
Iceland you want to see, or just the black sand and stuff, or Iceland.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's so much there that I feel that you could go for a week and you wouldn't even see, like, I don't know, a quarter of it, even like if that. Well, at least the sort of main locations, anyways. Well, fingers crossed you can get yourself there. I know. So yeah, I suppose that's probably it. To be honest, I don't want to go on too long. I can always get you back on in future, and we can sort of get an update on how things have been, hopefully after lockdown and whatever. Can people just find you on Instagram? Is that right? Is that all you've got? Not got anything else?
No, I don't. I'm not really tech savvy, so I was thinking like your website would be quite cool, but
yeah,
I don't really know how to begin with that. So any advice from anyone would be great, but I don't know. But it's just on Instagram at the minute. That's what I've got. I don't really use Facebook either. I've just got a blank account linked to my Instagram, but that's it. Nothing else. So the old school.
It's similar to myself. I just have an Instagram. If I was doing anything, it would be a website as well, just to sell photos and things, or kind of put a bit about me, and just because I think with a website it just looks a wee bit maybe more professional. Kind of having something like that to kind of showcase your work. The last question is, if you could only take one photograph, what would it be? You just had one more photograph that you could take, what would it be?
Ever. One last photo.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be Eric, isn't it?
That's what I was going to be.
Isn't that hard? It would definitely be somewhere of Eric. Definitely.
That'd be cool.
What about yourself?
I don't know. To be honest, I think I kind of feel like I've already got it. I don't want to go into it too much, but when I was up at Scott's View, I was there. I was there with my nieces, and they were blowing bubbles, right? And it was just one of those things that I was like chasing the bubble. It was like so ridiculous, right? I was like chasing the bubbles, and I was trying to capture one in front of kind of Scott's View, and I was just clicking away like sports mode and everything. Like I just was trying to get the perfect shot, and so anyways, my camera died. So I just was like, right, fine, enjoy the rest of the day. And I remember, so I went home, plugged the SD card into the computer, and I was clicking through them all, and like nowhere. I've not even put it up because it's kind of too special to put up. Like I just don't. I'll send you. But it's one of those that I took it, and I didn't even know that I'd got it, and then got home, and honestly, like it was as if I'd taken a bubble off the Google and put it bang on in the middle of Scott's View. It's one.
I bet amazing. That's a cracking shot.
Honestly, it was just one of those moments that I took it quite early on in sort of when I started photography, and I kind of then thought, where can I go from here? Because I've got almost the photo that I wanted to get. So yeah, I suppose in a way I'm quite lucky that I've managed to probably get the photo that I maybe always wanted. That's why I like to ask people that question, is just because I'm lucky enough that I do think it is probably my favourite one. You never know, there might be something in the future, but pretty chuffed with it.
Special photo with a nice special moment. That's probably what makes it extra.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Definitely.
I'll send it through to you and you can see that it's not fake, I'm not lying.
Photo. It sounds really pretty awesome. It's a good idea, that as well. For the view, on Scott's view.
Yeah.
That's good.
Nah, it is. And that's it. Like, I want to share my sort of journey as well. Like, it's nice to hear from other people, but I don't just want to be sitting here asking questions and sound like I don't have a clue. Well, I don't have a clue what I'm talking about, but you know what I mean. Like, it's not fair grilling you type.
I never have a clue. It's fine.
No worries. Well,
sorry.
Nah, it's fine. Well, thanks again, and enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll speak to you later. All right?
Yeah, you take care. Thanks.
Yeah, you too.